Alright, this is a video to just briefly review what we talked about today in our tutoring session. So we covered inequalities. Now we have to remember when we change the sign of the inequality. So it says here, we changed the sign of inequality if you move the variable from one side to the other. So the variable is x, right? So for example, if we take this question, we have 4 is less than or equal to 2x. Okay? Now let's just solve for x. So what do we do to both sides? What we do is we divide both sides by 2. Then we get that 4 over 2 is 2 is less than or equal to x. Now we don't want it this way. What we want is x on the left side. So again, what does the rule say? That if you move the variable from one side to the other, then we have to change the sign. So if we bring this x over to the left and the 2 over to the right, so if you write it like this, x, and then put 2 to the right, what we have to do is we have to change this sign from less than or equal to greater than. Greater than or equal to. So that's what we mean by changing the sign. Okay, another thing that we talked about was about the number line for this inequality. So if we draw the number line, okay. Alright, so this says x is greater than 3. So we go to 3, so let's say this is 3. Alright, so at the point 3, we do not include that point because it's just greater than. So we just put an open circle. Alright, so we said that anything, alright, if x is greater than a number, then we color in, or we go to the, right. So if x is greater than a number, say 3, then we go to the right. Alright? And then, for this example, x is less than or equal to negative 2. Okay, if we draw the number line, we have 0. Where's negative 2? To the left, right? Right there. Or in this case, because it's less than or equal to, alright, we color in the point. And again, we said that if it's less than, if x is less than a number, then we go to the left. We go to the left. Right, not to the right, but to the left. So if x is less than, we go to the left. So we go this way. Alright, the final thing we kind of went over this, but this was to help you. Okay, we call linear graphs, right? So we have these equations where we solve for y equals x plus 1, here y equals 2x minus 1. Now for now, when we're going to draw this graph, we need to put in points, okay? So for here, we have x, and we have a table for y, okay? So like your teacher said, put in negative 1 for x, 0 and 1. We're going to use these 3 points. Alright, so let's plug in negative 1 into this equation. So y is equal to negative 1 plus 1. So that equals 0. Now let's plug in 0 to the equation. So it equals to 0 plus 1. So that's equal to 1. Let's plug in 1 to this equation. So that's 1 plus 1, which is equal to 2. All right, let's do this one quickly, okay? So we have x and we have y. Okay, let's use negative 1, 0, and 1. Okay, so let's plug in negative 1 to this equation. So that equals to 2 times negative 1 minus 1. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 minus 1, which is equal to minus 3. Plug in 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. So what's left over? Negative 1. Now let's plug in 1 to this equation. So it's going to be 2 times 1 minus 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Alright. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. So the answer is 1. So if we graph this, right, roughly. So let's graph this one first, okay? So we have negative 1, 0. So we have negative 1 to the left and 0. So this point. Then we have 0 and 1. So x is 0, and then we have 1 for y. So it'd be this point right here. And then we have 1 and 2. So we have 1 for x, and then we have 2. So it'd be here because you go 1 over to the right, and we go up 2. So if we connect the dots, it becomes a line like so. So I'm not going to do this one, but it's the same idea. So you plot the points, and then you connect the lines, and you get the graph of the line.